Our LV Game of the Week camera headed to New Road to take a look at the relegation clash between Worcestershire and Sussex. Daryl Mitchell batted after winning the toss but was out in the second over as Chris Jordan bagged the first of his 5 wickets, Chris Nash holding on to Michael Yardy's parry. Jordan delivered an excellent opening spell of 7 overs which went for 24 runs but also included the wicket of Tom Fell, who was dismissed with a peach with a total on 13 for 2. Hardly the start required by a team which began this contest in the bottom 2 of the First Division, just 4 points behind their opponents here. With time running out, the battle to avoid the drop into the second tier for next season is between 4 teams, these 2 plus Hampshire and Somerset, who are having a bad time of it in Leeds. The impressive Joe Clark, once more showing a maturity beyond his 19 years, and Brett D'Oliveira now had a job on their hands after this indifferent start. It was hard work for both youngsters who had to be very patient, waiting for their moments to strike against a Sussex attack, which was at last close to being at its strongest after suffering with countless injuries this summer. These 2 batsmen carefully constructed an important partnership which kept the bowlers at bay for the remainder of the morning session and beyond. Only 70 runs were scored in the first couple of hours, which had the game on an even keel by the time lunch was taken. After it, Clark and D'Oliveira continued to battle really hard for their runs, and they saw off another half an hour in taking their stand to 80. But just when it looked as if they'd done all the hard work to put their side on top, the wheels quickly fell off. Worcestershire suddenly lost 5 wickets for 24 runs in the space of 7 overs, and it was Jordan who started the collapse by getting one through Clark, who'd batted for more than 2 hours for his 40. D'Oliveira followed Clark back to the pavilion in the very next over, a gloved pull off Steve Magoffin, sending him on his way for 38, with the total now on 97 for 4. That became 102 for 5 when Jordan struck for a 4th time to prove just how much he's been missed by his county this season. Ross Whiteley was the man to go this time, with Yardy clinging on well in the slips. And it was 5 for Jordan and his next over, his 15th. Ben Cox, the third to be bowled by the England man, who was somewhere near his best after some while out of the game with a side strain. He was obviously feeling no effects of that. Worcestershire were now on the slide and the total read 117 for 7 when Chris Liddle got in on the act to have Joe Leach taken behind by Ben Brown. Things were by now panning out perfectly for the visitors, who were probably pleased that they'd lost the toss first thing. At this stage, only Clark and D'Oliveira had managed to get into double figures, but Jack Shantry and Alex Gidman now did just that to momentarily arrest the slide. They were at least able to add 25 runs for the 8th wicket, but then Shantry on 15 edged Ollie Robinson to Jordan, who was having a day to remember in the field. Shantry left with his side on 142 for 8 and in big trouble. In came Saeed Ajmal, and he took on Magoffin when he could in one of the brighter innings of the day on a tough pitch. The Pakistani made 22 of a 9th wicket partnership of 37 with Gidman, who was trying to hold the innings together at the other end. They had survived until tea, but after it, Ajmal was bowled by Ashar Zaidi with a total on 179 for 9. 3 more overs were delivered after that before the rain arrived to drive the players off the ground for the final time. It had been a day of graft for Worcestershire, who ended it on 185 for 9 from 70 overs, in which Jordan took 5 for 57 from 19.